Hello, everybody, and welcome back for session 2 on the SEMrush All Stars page. And we are going to be talking about affiliate marketing. And today I am joined by Jenny Abu Obaya, something along those lines. Who you've been on SEMrush several times, right, Jenny?
No, this is the first time actually. We're booked to go on SEMrush. Yeah, no, it was other stuff that we did. But no, we're booked to go on SEMrush.
You were on there before, but I know we're on next
A
month.
couple of weeks, next month.
So for anyone who doesn't know you, Jenny, from the SEMrush audience, give us a bit of a background of what you do and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, as Craig said, I'm Jenny Abu Obaya. He's getting better. The more times we talk, that name's getting closer and closer there. So, yeah, I'm originally from Newcastle in the UK, if you can't tell. Currently live in Egypt, and I've got an agency that deals with affiliate marketing. So I've got a team of writers, outreach, we'll build sites, we'll sell sites, we'll do content. We basically take sites from building them up all the way through, and we've got a whole host of clients that we work with to do that. I've been doing that now for, I think we're on my 4th year-ish. Before that, I used to be a writer myself, working with affiliate marketing. I used to work with the guys over at Authority Hacker on some of their sites, so that's how I got started out. And yeah, just basically built up a whole load of clients and expanded that into an agency, and which started as a content agency, and then, like I say, we've just grown to basically do everything from A to Z, but just for affiliate sites. So no other kind of content, no blogs, no e-commerce, nothing like that, just affiliate from beginning to end.
That's what I need. That is what we all need, which makes me the perfect person to come on and ask questions for the public, to me, and also give you input on all things affiliate marketing and how to get started making money online. I think obviously affiliate marketing's, although it's people have been doing it for many years, I still feel that it's quite a new subject for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't understand it, or what goes behind it. A lot of people think it's quite an easy way to make money, which it's not. So on this one, we are just going to have Jenny trying to ask as many questions to try and get as much out of me for the wider audience. So if you guys do have questions as well, please pop them in the chat. We do have all-purpose work, Gary Farmer, Dan Jones. If you do have any questions, make sure you do go to the live chat. But Jenny, affiliate marketing, how to get started making money online. Where do we start? What questions have you got lined up?
Well, I think the first one, easy one, I would say it was easy anyway. In your opinion, best way to start, build or buy?
Best way to start, build or buy? I mean, personally, I would rather, if I was starting out from scratch, this is going to seem weird, I would want to build just so that I learn the mechanics of ordering content and how everything works. But after that, it would always be buy. So if I'm going to any project just now and you said to me build or buy all day long, obviously buying something that's working, someone that's already done a lot of the donkey work, put all the a bit of the content out there, potentially got an aged domain name. That also helps, with an existing backlink profile. So I think there's so many benefits to buying rather than, building from scratch and then finding out that you're in the wrong niche or whatever. But I think, build one out to begin with, which I'm sure we've all done, including yourself, just getting the feel of how things work and ordering content from vendors or writing it yourself or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that's a great place to start. And I think that's one of the things that it's probably the best experience you can get is to build one, even if you have a main site that is your money site and you're building a site on the side that is just kind of your play site, if you like. That's what I used to do quite a lot, is just have sites that I had no intention of ranking them. If they did or whatever, then that's, you know, that's a plus. But it was just I'm going to do things on this site just to see where I'm crossing lines, what's going on, what I can do here, what I can't, because that is probably the best learning experience I think anybody can have. The one thing I would say about buying is probably the only difference with yourself is because obviously you've got that knowledge and experience to be able to look at a site and know whether you're buying a dud or not. Where there's probably a lot of people who, even if they've built their first site, still might not have quite that experience. So probably the only thing I would say is, even though it is a great way to get a kind of good deal, in the sense of, if you can get a site that someone, they're wanting to sell it off because it hasn't ranked or whatever, and it's just been a case of they haven't really known what to do, I would always have someone check it. So like something we do in our agency is just like a site assessment for people who want to buy sites and stuff like this, where we can just say, you know, stay away from that, or there's a really good opportunity here or whatever. So if you're not 100% confident in kind of your own ability to know the ins and outs, that would probably be my only thing to say, because it's kind of like buying a used car, isn't it? If you're just going to walk around and kick the tires, then you're probably going to find something later on that's you know, might be a bit of a nasty surprise. So
I think, obviously, yeah, there's a lot of websites I see for sale, you know, in the Facebook groups or whatever, and you're just like, oh, stay clear of that one. So yeah, you've kind of got to know what you're looking for. But again, on the flip side of that as well, though, and I think I've said it before, I'm like a vulture, just looking for someone who doesn't know what they're doing, so that I can grab it, take advantage of that naivety, and then be able to scale it up a bit quicker. So and then flip it on, sell it for money. So yeah, there's two sides to it, but yeah.
yeah.
Also, I'm on John's in to give some trolling and also advice. But yeah, there's a question here from All Purpose Work. Usually in the software affiliate marketing, new softwares don't have any volume. So how to know that building a website on any new software will be profitable and it will have volume in the future? I mean, that's a difficult one to answer, because you could go down the route of spending a lot of time promoting something that maybe only lasts a year or something, and it doesn't get the stuff. But out there, you know, doing affiliate marketing for the likes of SEMrush or whatever, you know, it's a no-brainer. They're not going anywhere anytime soon, and the volume is there. So just find something that is established. That's the search for. That's one of the first things I look for. Search volume. I'm not interested in trying to be the next guy who finds a real weak, you know, bunch of a tool or whatever, and try and take advantage of their branding or whatever. Of course, that's an opportunity, but I don't really look at that way. It's always keywords.
I think that's one of those things that actually you kind of have to be careful of, is not to get kind of caught up in the glitz and the glamour of the next new big thing, because I think many people have, when, you know, I think you've talked about it before with like vaping sites when they first came out and stuff like this, where, you know, it looks like it's going to be great, but realistically, I mean, one of the first things that I do is I'm looking for long-term viability, where if this is brand new and this doesn't have keywords and search volume and stuff like that, how do I know I can take this more than a year in, and then what's going to be your option from there? So I think that is one of the things you have to be careful of, because you could hit lucky, like it could be something that does really take off, but those particular opportunities are probably, well, once in a blue moon, do you know what I mean? More and more likely to be duds than you're likely to hit lucky. So I usually kind of stick with what's already working. If it's not broken, don't fix it, really, isn't it? So
yeah, no, as you see, I've done the same thing with the vaping niche, and then realised that the red tape around being able to advertise on Facebook, Google Ads, and anything like that as well was massively problematic. So I didn't understand. That's why that business model failed. I didn't understand the inner workings and the red tape stuff around promoting that stuff. So yeah, be careful and do your research properly and understand what you can and can't do. That's important.
Yeah, I think it's important as well, actually, on that point, to make sure that research is part of your niche selection, and don't go ahead and like buy a domain and start getting set up and then realize. Because I mean, we've done that before with a client who was looking at like digital banks, so like Revolut and Monzo, all of these kind of things. And when they'd already started going for it, and when we went to do keyword research for the content, it was like you're not going to get more than, I'd say, 100,000 words worth of content out of this. So unless you're going to, go out into kind of things like cryptocurrency and stuff like this, you really need to think about that. And then I think it wasn't long after that, a lot of those kind of, once it hit Brexit, a lot of those started getting shut down in the UK. So it's things like that really you do need to kind of take care of.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. We have another quick question here. Do you think building an Amazon affiliate store is still worth it in 2021, or should it be part of a wider network of affiliate relationships? What's your opinion on that, Jenny, first?
Well, I still think that Amazon is definitely viable, especially for a new site and for someone that doesn't already have a portfolio. So a lot of the people that we work with, we're building sites from the scratch. They're usually their first sites that they've done a course or something to learn about affiliate marketing. And it is a good place to start, even if it's just in the case of, once you start getting that affiliate commission in, you can use that as kind of leverage to move over to different affiliates, because obviously a lot of more kind of exclusive affiliates you're going to have to apply with your site. So you're going to have to give them something to show them that you're worth being an affiliate, essentially. So even if you're using Amazon just for that purpose, it definitely has its place, certainly. Whether I would build it as like an FBA store, I don't think I would do at this time. But yeah, definitely starting out with Amazon as commission and then building it out, even adding a secondary affiliate partner, or just kind of transitioning over to somewhere different that's going to be able to give you higher commissions. But straight away, that's going to be a way that you can kind of get your foot in the door and possibly negotiate higher commission rates with a different affiliate partner as well. Because if you can show them how well you're doing on your site currently, that's more motivation for them to kind of move the goalposts a little bit. What about you, Craig?
I mean, I think Amazon's still a platform where you can still do relatively well. I think it depends on where you enter the market, really. But I think Amazon's a great starting point to get traffic, to get sales and everything else. Personally speaking, I wouldn't set out to do Amazon. What I'm looking for, because I do buy and sell websites, is I'm looking for someone who has a well-established Amazon website that is getting a decent bunch of traffic, and then I can maybe add other monetization angles on there to then double or treble the revenue or whatever it might be, and then I'm able to flip that website for double or treble what I paid for it. So I think, as a starting ground and going forward, yeah, Amazon can do well. But, if you ask me, is it worth it? I've had Amazon websites that I bought, scaled up, got them up to several £1,000s a month, and then it was costing me the same money for that content and everything else. There just wasn't a huge amount of profit because of the margins when they slash that commission. So for me, I would rather, the way I see it is, I'm paying that content, and everything with affiliates an investment for me. I don't really see it as me knuckling down and doing the content. So it's all seen as an investment for me. So is it that beneficial for me to invest in something I'm only getting that 3% back on? It's just not always worth it. But as Amon and stuff is saying there, if you're linking to products like cameras, lighting, podcasting, and all that kind of stuff, if you were going to do Amazon, what I would strongly advise anyone do is go for products that are worth £100 minimum.
That's
the problem I had. I had a golf website, and I was able to scale it up in terms of traffic, keywords, and everything else. But the average cost per product was like $20. It was a lot of
Yeah.
golf T-shirts and balls, which were like £3, stuff like that. So, I was able to scale it in terms of traffic and everything, but in terms of revenue, it was, for me to the way I have to look at it is me paying my content writer to write an article about golf balls that I'm getting £3 for. I'd be as well have gotten her to write about golf buggies or something else
Yeah.
that was worth 100 or 200 or £300
Yeah.
or whatever. So that is the way I see it. If it costs you the same amount of time and effort, and there is still a lot of search volume for expensive items, you don't always have to think cheap. So go
Yeah.
for your cameras, your lighting, and stuff that costs a few quids.
That's it. That's exactly what I was going to say, and I think that people have to kind of remember that as part of their niche selection as well. So if you go for a niche where it's high ticket items, you have to remember that no matter what you're going to spend on this site, it's probably going to cost you the same regardless of what niche you're doing. Really, in terms of if you're having everything done by someone else, you're paying a writer, you're paying for your outreach and all the rest of it. You're going to pay for the same amount regardless of what niche you choose. So that does have to be part of your niche selection process. If you're planning on doing Amazon, is looking at a niche that does have high ticket items that at least if you're paying your writer whatever, it's you're not only looking at getting them to write about, like you say, £3 golf balls or whatever. You're going to be looking at sort of high end, high ticket items, and then then you're kind of laughing. I mean, something like even we just did one for like designer sunglasses and stuff like this, where the minimum you're talking $130 or something like this is the minimum price that someone's going to pay. So it's just about having that forethought. Really, I think it's not that it's not worth it, but definitely from a starting point, if you are looking at kind of high ticket items and using it as a platform to move on to something else, because I think you'll have to remember as well that Amazon does have that trust factor as well. So obviously people know Amazon, you've got the Amazon Prime and all the rest of it, which is for someone going to your website is definitely a trust factor. So even if it's a case of you're using kind of product boxes within your content that allows for multi-retailers and things like this, it's just also giving you that extra option that if someone wants to stay safe and stay with Amazon, then it's a good option to take.
That's what you need to remember, though, because there are websites that I've had on Amazon, flipped them over to a private affiliate, and the conversions are not the same. People do want that same day or next day delivery. I'm personally the same. When I see something, for example, I'd probably see 90% of the things I buy are from Amazon. And I always look, if I go on a website and look for something, I always then go to Amazon and say, can I get that tomorrow? Just I'm that kind of guy. When I get my head on, I don't know, a gadget or whatever, I need that tomorrow. So I think Amazon, from that point of view, does still have a lot of the market.
Yeah, definitely.
Amon's pretty much just said that as well. Reliable, dependable, next day delivery, especially for purchases. There's several £100 worth of stuff. And the thing is, I've never really had an Amazon delivery go wrong, to be honest. And I'm deadly serious when I say that. They are fairly accurate. So that is a massive selling point. And again, something that you're just going to have to suck up. Amazon don't need affiliates, which is why that commission's been slashed several times in the last few years. But there's still money to be made there, so do not do it. Got another wee quick question here from Dan Jones, and then we'll go back to you, Jenny. Have you ever sold custom merchandise such as t-shirts, mugs through your affiliate website? And if so, which vendor did you use? I personally have never done that. I know friends that have done Teespring and stuff like that, where they design the stuff and Teespring basically fulfill the orders and you make some money. But I've not done it. But what about you, Jenny? Done anything like that at all? Jenny, I can't hear you. Still can't.
Can you hear us now?
can hear you now. I don't know if it was me though. I had these in my hand and I opened them up, and I'm not sure if it was me.
Just
So
disappeared.
apologies.
But, yeah, I mean, I've worked with fitness sites before, so it's not really the same. But like, I used to do like a lot of fitness programs, as I used to be an online personal trainer as well. So, which runs through like proper training providers, which are where you put your training programs into and they set it up as an app and all of this kind of stuff. So I've done that kind of thing and it's worked really well. But in terms of t-shirts, I know and kind of merchandise, I know there is kind of ones that'll fulfill it for you, but how good they are, I couldn't really say from personal experience. But I mean, definitely from the fitness standpoint, that's one of the first things anyone who's got a fitness site I recommend to do is move over to selling your own programs and all of this kind of stuff, where you're not kind of dealing with an affiliate. You're just, paying your monthly fee for the hosting service of wherever you're putting your programs, like my PT Hub or something like this, and be done with it. That's the best way to go.
One other question before we do go back to you, Jenny, actually, just to cover this one off from Paul Hogden. If your affiliate website is popular in several countries, which affiliate link do you use? So if this is Amazon you're referring to, Paul, they have something called One Link, so that you get the credit regardless of whether they go on Amazon in America or wherever. So sign up for One Link on there. I think One Link still works. I sold all my Amazon websites last year, but One Link was working at the time. So
yeah, it does. I think they've just added like Australia and places like that as well, if I'm correct. I was seeing somebody talking about it just yesterday or something. So that are expanding. And also you've got there's a few of the different plugins as well, like AAWP and all of these kind of things that will allow you to do kind of the different locations. You just put your link in for all of them and it'll automatically sort of sort it out regardless of which country it goes to, as long as you've already set up those kind of different affiliate links within Amazon.
And if you're not working with Amazon, as Amon Jones has basically just said, IP-based delivery or at least country selection is your friend here. That's an option for you, Paul. I'm not sure whether it's... I know Paul as well personally, and I'm not sure he does Amazon. I'm pretty sure he doesn't do Amazon. So that Amon Jones's advice is the one you want to follow. And good to see William Rock here as well. Guys, if you are enjoying it, make sure you do like and subscribe. We always do appreciate that. But Jenny, what other questions have you got?
Yeah, so going back to kind of getting started with an affiliate site, what would be if someone was to come to you and say, right, I've built the site, I've got it ready, how do I start? What would be your kind of ABC as this is what I do, this is my plan to kind of get things moving?
I mean, I think for me at the very start of anything, the key, obviously you've done your niche research, I'm assuming your site's built and all that kind of stuff, but the content strategy is where I would become very, very aggressive in the first 6 months even, the content strategy and on page. There's so many long tail keywords and very specific keywords that you can rank for before you even start to consider link building. So I think, where I've seen the biggest growth on a lot of the affiliate websites that I've ever worked on has been just sheer content strategy, just using as much budget as you've possibly got to try and do that properly and try not have overlapping content and all that kind of stuff. Just make sure that you do check for the right keywords and everything else and do your research properly, and then have the right process in terms of doing your own page or whatever, whether you're using Page Optimizer Pro and everything else. And also just make sure that you've got your subheadings and stuff on there to make sure that your page doesn't rank for just 5 keywords. Make sure that it ranks for 55 keywords having your subheadings, and even adding schema or whatever to get the question boxes, or someone else asked that earlier on. You want to take up as much of that as you possibly can. And the reason I do that is sometimes it can be hit or miss with content strategy. So I arranged to get 50 articles put out there. Probably 10 of those products are going to go really well. Now, I'm not always sure which one of those products go really well, and it's those pages that I would start to tweak, build links at, and really focus my time on. Because again, with any website, depending on the size of it, you're going to have 10 or a very small percentage of pages that perform really well and bring in all the traffic. So that is where you want to be focusing most of your time and money on, rather than, I think the content strategy is just throwing enough mud at the wall to see what sticks and then go in and tweak it all. So that's what I would be doing for the first 6 months, probably.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, to be honest, that's one of my, the first thing I would do is try and get 100,000 words of content on the site as quickly as possible. There's one thing that I hate more than anything, and it's a bare site, which I think people I talk about a lot, is like, the kind of UX side and the CRO side, not just the SEO side of affiliate. And I think that's what a lot of people forget as well, that in terms of site visitors, if we think that most people are the average Joe, you to be able to convert those people, you really need to kind of build a trust factor. And I think if you go to a site that just looks like it's got 2 articles, people are very unlikely to trust that. So I always tend to really get as much content on there before I'm actively even trying to rank the site, really, so that by the time I do start ranking, someone's going to come to the site and they're going to already think it's a long-term established site, you know what I mean? And work, like you said, obviously working through that content, making sure that on page is spot on, and also, like you said, like with the schema, and also I like to make sure the internal linking and everything is spot on before I start doing, obviously, link building to different pages. So using something like inlinks is perfect, where you can do, similar as kind of Surfer, but then it also manages your internal links and your schema and stuff like this, especially for someone who's new, making sure that's kind of spot on before you're looking at, ranking for those keywords. That's just going to give you a lot better chance, I think, of building not only kind of those conversions, but a repeat audience, which to me is something that's massively important, which I think a lot of people don't think about. Maybe it's because I come from originally like a retail background, and your repeat customers, that's your kind of bread and butter. So like, obviously, if someone comes to your site and they really like it and it's in a niche that they're particularly interested in, if they're impressed and they think it's an established site and it looks good, they've got that trust factor, they're more likely to come back. So obviously, if you can build new traffic and bring the traffic you're already capturing back, then you're laughing, really, So yeah, definitely building out the content is probably the first and foremost thing for me.
Definitely. I just want to answer this guy's question, Hassan Khan. So, can we build an affiliate marketing strategy without Amazon Associates? Of course you can. Just let me give you a quick example of that. Now, you don't have to do Amazon anything. So if I wanted to, for example, rank well for SEMrush tutorial, so SEMrush tutorial, I think I'm in position 4. SEMrush have the first 2 positions, Brian Dean's in 3rd, I'm in 4th. So this is all with a view to affiliate marketing. So I've got a page here that's got a whole bunch of SEMrush tutorials and stuff on it. And then if I go in here, I can go in and see a tutorial based on server log analysis, which again, another long tail keyword, which is on there. And again, it's just that's affiliate marketing. People are literally clicking on the links on there, getting SEMrush for free for 14 days. They go to my affiliate link, which is there, which, yes, is working. I was going to say it doesn't work, but yeah, affiliate marketing is affiliate marketing. You don't have to overcomplicate this. It's very simple and easy to drive traffic to wherever you want it to be, whether that be in the format of a video, whether that be in the format of a guide, a blog, or whatever. So yes, you can build an affiliate marketing strategy without Amazon. You can do it with the likes of SEMrush or anything else for that matter out there. As long as you've got a page that ranks well, that gets traffic, you can monetize that. So that's all you need to do, and make sure that they do. Essentially, with Amazon, you're dropping the Amazon cookie. As soon as they click on your link, bang, you get the credit for everything that person buys over the next 24 hours. Job done. So essentially, that's the same with, obviously, cookie policies and stuff differ from company to company, but Amazon do have that 24-hour cookie policy. But Jenny, I'm going to ask this question to you.
Yeah.
So all-purpose work is asking, how do agencies get guest posts so easily? Do they also have to pay the guest posting sites? Can you please give this guy a bit of advice on how guest posting works?
Well, I think in this day and age, it's probably a good idea for everybody to get in their head that, like, if you want good links, you're most likely going to pay for them. Is the top and bottom answer to that question, regardless of whether you're an agency or you're doing your own outreach. If I think now most website owners have cottoned on to the fact that they can make money from doing it. So whether it's it's naughty or not, it's just a reality of the game that is affiliate marketing. But obviously, the one thing with agency is if you're acting as an agency and you do have an outreach team, a lot of the time, certainly with us anyway, we have relationships with actual journalists that work for big name magazines and stuff like this, and also with site owners and stuff, because we're doing it all the time and we're building that reputation, and you've got that kind of customer service level, I think, coming from an agency background. And I think once you've done it a few times as an agency, and a site owner, knows that you're genuine, and they also know, because I mean, certainly for us, we produce the content as well, so they know that they're going to get a quality article essentially put on their website and stuff. You do build those relationships, so it's a lot easier to go back to someone and say, oh, I've got a client, blah blah blah. So it depends on everybody's kind of internal SOPs, I guess, how they're doing it. But if you look at the big picture and reality, then yes, probably are paying for paying something. Everybody's paying something in some way, whether even if it's just taking them out for a drink or something like this. There's some kind of mutual exchange going on somewhere, definitely. So I think that's the top and bottom of it. But like I say, as an agency, you do have the benefit that you are not only building relationships, but also you've spent your time getting the right people in that position who, maybe they come from a sales background or something like this, and they have the gift of the gab, if you like, and they're the ones that doing cold outreach are going to get a lot more of a positive response than maybe someone trying to do it for themselves. So that's a lot of what goes behind it, because obviously as an agency, you're investing in that team, and that means picking the right people to do that job and spending the time doing that. So that's how it usually tends to work out a lot better for an agency than someone doing it themselves.
There's not too much I can add to that, but what you need to get your head around all-purpose work is people do buy guest posts, and that's all there is to it. Like, whether an agency pretends it's outreach or whatever, and some will do outreach and whatever, but a lot of agencies are genuinely just buying stuff, whether it's from the Hoth, Fat Joe, or to some random guy who's just got a list of websites that he's got access to. That goes on. But as you say, Jenny, you're doing like Harrow stuff, building relationships with journalists and stuff like that, and obviously you're going to get high-powered links that not everyone can get. And the most important thing for me when link building is I could go to people per hour right now, and I could get a BuzzFeed link for $30 or whatever it costs. But every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got that. Is that going to move the needle? No. I want a link that not every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got. So the links that you have to work harder for, whether you have to schmooze, take them out for a drink or chat them up or whatever you have to do to get that link, is the links that are going to stand you in good stead, because they're not the ones that everyone else can be bothered getting out for, because everyone wants to just hit numbers, BuzzFeed, and buy all the garbage that's on the market. We all get the emails from people every day. I can get you on this, and this, and they give you the price list. If we were all to buy that, what's going to be differentiating factor, and obviously you're looking for quality. And for me, you also want links to websites that have traffic that are relevant to your niche. And a lot of these other websites that are randomly sold, such as guest posts, don't actually get traffic. A lot of them are just sold because they've got high metrics and stuff. So be careful what you buy out there. That's all I would say.
Yeah, I think that's what you've got to take into account as well, is actually what metrics you're looking at, because everybody always does everything on kind of like, DR and stuff like this. And I know in my personal experience, we've had almost arguments with clients where, as someone who kind of does this every day, you'll say to them, got this site, and maybe it's a DR30, but it's run by someone who's an influencer, and they've got 3 million Instagram followers, and they're going to make a post on social media sharing the post and stuff like this. We've got a personal relationship with them, and it's like, oh yeah, but I want a DR60. So they think like, I want a DR60, but that DR60 from one of these lists, for example, maybe it's got like 1,000 hits a month, where the DR30 is, like you say, getting millions and millions of views, and turning that essentially into something that can go, kind of mini viral, or be more like a kind of PR situation. So it's, take into consideration the metrics and how people are working. If you want to work with an agency, have a conversation with them. I know certainly like our outreach team, we do outreach. We have built relationships with proper journalists and stuff like this. We're not working from lists other than those that we've built ourselves. So most people will be, if they're if they're not doing anything dodgy, they'll not be scared to share that with you, kind of thing. So I think just have a conversation about it, and speak to people who know what they're doing, and to find the best way to do that. Because like you say, a lot of people who act as agencies are sometimes just one person outsourcing it to someone that will white label it. So yeah, just look at the metrics and just be careful with what you pay for.
Yeah. Also, I just want to cover off this for Stuart Mackay. Just let me share my screen again. I just want to clarify something, just in my own experience. So here is a website started in around about October, and boom, up there. I could show you countless websites that have had a good impact and good stuff a hell of a lot quicker than a year. So Stuart was basically asking earlier on, so if you have a new affiliate website, you're going to get ignored by Google for a year, right? I have 2 property information websites that they're picking up now, but I had hardly any traffic for a year. I'm on, John's come in to say, give his input on there, and Stuart said that didn't answer his question because it was a bit vague, but not the answer I'm looking for. But it does not, you've got this sandbox debate and all that kind of stuff, but you've worked for Authority Hacker, you've dealt with enough affiliate websites in your time. Now, I'm obviously not going to sit here and say there is no sandbox or there's no thing at the start or whatever, but it's certainly not a year under any circumstances. I've launched hundreds of affiliate websites and flipped them within a year. I've scaled them up to a point where I've flipped them on within a year. So certainly the year, I would certainly not be agreeing with. But what's your feedback on that, Jamie?
Well, generally, I would totally disagree with that. I mean, to be honest, if I'm building a site now and it's not ranking and it's not making conversions and taking commission within 3 months, I'm going to be sorely disappointed, to be honest. But I think what people have to understand is it's the fact of, it depends who's building it and how you're building it. Because obviously, if you don't have that experience, it's your first site and stuff like this, then you're not necessarily going to be doing every single thing right from the get-go. Do you know what I mean? Where people with more experience who've made those mistakes and stuff like that know a kind of A to Z plan, really, that in the beginning I'm going to follow this and this is what's going to work. And I think everybody has that own. So so yeah, I mean, it's not that it doesn't essentially exist, but I think it just kind of exists more for people who aren't as experienced, because naturally you're going to make mistakes. You're going to not do everything you could have done. You're going to miss things out that you just weren't aware of, So that's usually when that comes into play. But like I say, certainly from experience, like I say, where I'm building a site, if it's not taking money, if it hasn't started taking money, at least in ranking within 3 months, I'm going to be very, very disappointed, and I'm going to be looking at what I've done wrong somewhere along the line. So definitely not a year. I mean, there may be niches, I suppose, if like what I talked about before, it's a new niche that isn't hugely established or whatever. There's always going to be one kind of factor that's going to come into play. But like I say, I think a lot of it comes down to experience, to be totally honest and frank about it, is the fact that it's just natural that if you've got less experience, then there's going to be things that affect the way you've done something, so which will probably be picked up by Google. So, and especially depending on your competition as well. If you think about, that's the way I usually say it is to clients as well, is we try to get clients to do everything, even the smallest things. I always talk about general housekeeping with your SEO and things like this, that there's always debate on things like do alt text on images make any difference, and all this kind of stuff. And the way I look at it is, if you're doing everything, then you can't go wrong, because at the end of the day, if you and another person start a site in the same niche at the same time, and they're doing everything and you're letting the odd thing slip, then there's a likelihood that they're going to go above you a lot quicker. So it's just a case of making sure you're covering all your bases, really, and then it certainly shouldn't take a year.
Yeah, but one other thing I want to add there, Stuart, is you can do what Paul Hogden done and focus too much in content. But where I'm always taking advantage with affiliate marketing in particular is I like to use age domains or good expired domain names that have a bit of power behind them and a bit of history. Starting with a fresh domain name, you are going to have to build, your citations and build things up and build a bit of power. So normally when I do an affiliate website, I am always looking at using an age domain name or an expired domain in most cases, which you can look at odys.cc, and they have age domain names, 10, 15 years old, 5 years old, whatever, just to cut all of that kind of stuff out. But there has to become a point where, like, for example, I'll show you this here actually quickly. Share. So here is pretty much what, it's not a strategy as such, but just say I launch an affiliate website. I will go here to my content pal, which is a content agency, and I'll just order like $5,000 worth of content. Bang, I've got like 150,000 words there or whatever. Get that slapped on your website so I've placed that order whilst I'm potentially building backlinks and stuff like that as well, and messing around or doing redirects from, I don't know. It really depends on what your strategy is going to be. But, if it's an expired domain name, I want to get as much juice as I can out of that. So I might be doing redirects, creating all that kind of stuff so that the website's getting as much power as it can. But I see that $5,000 order, just place it. Obviously, someone will do the research and everything and then move on to the link building step. Whereas Paul Hogden has pretty much done it all himself. And that's probably why he's been bogged down in the content side of things and not focused on the link building. So it's just trying to do it as fast as you can, because I'm always looking to exit within 6 to 9 months of doing a project. That's just the way that I operate. I want rid of them as quickly as I possibly can. So yeah, and you do done for you affiliate websites, do you not? So when people are buying them, surely they're buying them, scaling them up, and chucking them back on the market again. That is a viable business model. Yeah. So obviously there's a viable business model in doing what you do, doing a done for you affiliate website to some standard. But then someone else just came in, like me, investing in content, investing in links, quadrupling their money or 10 times their money or whatever it might be, and then flipping it on to someone who's going to probably take more care of it. Is that what you see with a lot of your done for you websites?
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing the kind of done for you ones for a while, where it's custom to what the client wants. We've only just started doing the kind of ready-made ones, and I've seen that as being like those sites, the difference it makes to what we're talking about in terms of like the sandbox and what have you is massive. So we build ours on kind of aged and expired domains anyway, and then we're building out the first set of content, getting it ranking for some keywords, getting some link building on there, just with like your basic kind of foundation links. We're doing the kind of HARO and all of this kind of stuff, and it does make that massive difference to, because we're not putting a huge amount of effort into it, because we've got a lot of them to do and we've got clients to do and what have you. We're just putting that foundation down, and then it means when someone does take it, then it just goes like this. Do you know what I mean? Once they're putting their effort in, they're putting their little touch on it, getting that content done and stuff like that, that's when you can see a massive movement. And I think it's important as well to say, you mentioned about kind of aged domains and expired domains, and I think people kind of don't realize the potential that actually has and the difference it makes. I mean, I did a test a while ago with a site. I got two sites, one with an expired domain that had just dropped and had years and years on it. Didn't have backlinks, just had age. That was what I wanted to test. And then another one, same niche, brand new domain, nice brandable domain, both brandable domains, both .coms. Put the same amount of content on, going for the same keywords with the same writers and editors, but obviously totally unique, did all the same effort. And the one that had the expired domain within a month was ranking for over 300 keywords within a month, so like, and where the other one didn't move. So it does make a difference, and it's worth kind of playing with that thought when you're thinking about building them as well, I think. And I think it's important to say as well, I know we're saying about the difference of experience. It's also important to remember it's not just your experience, it's the experience of the people you're outsourcing the work to as well, because a lot of people don't have the time to do everything themselves, and there's a lot of kind of digital Del boys out there that are selling stuff out the boot of their virtual car. So it's important to say that that can make the difference as well. And obviously, if you're outsourcing stuff to people that they're telling you one thing and you don't really know what's going on, they don't have that experience, that can make a difference as well. So there is all of those kind of factors, I think, to it. But yeah, definitely with the kind of ready-made and done-for-you sites, they tend to make a huge difference, especially for people who are just starting, because I think it takes a lot of those early mistakes off, and that's the people that, I mean, I prefer to work with anyway. I'm working with a lot of people who have come from courses like Authority Hacker, so it's going to be their first site, and because to me those initial foundations are probably the most important stage, because once it is ranking, once it is making money, the maintenance side is not that difficult. You can bring in your own editor, you can bring in your own guy for outreach or whatever, just to keep that moving. But it's getting it going, that's the important part. That's where you're laying the foundation. So obviously doing that right, whether it be doing it right 100% yourself, or getting one that's ready made by somebody who knows what they're doing and can do it for you, then that's what makes the difference, really.
Yeah, no, I think I just think you've got to try and take advantage of what you can, just to give yourself a head start. And for me, we all want an easier life, and taking advantage of you doing all of that kind of stuff is where I want to be at. Let you do the donkey work, so to speak, doing the foundation stuff, and then come in and scale it up. But yeah, for Stuart Mackay, hopefully we've been able to give you a bit more context to the question there, and hopefully you go on and scale that up and just focus more on the link building. But any other questions, Jenny, you want to throw at me?
Well, we could probably have questions all day. Depends how much time we've got. Well, what I'm like.
We can have 9 minutes left, and that gives us a round hour.
9 minutes, right? Well, I think a lot of people be good is actually talking about link building, and especially in the beginning, is what would you think of as kind of a strategy? What's your go-to? How are you kind of thinking about link building in the beginning? Because I think that's where a lot of people go wrong as well, is that especially if they're new, they don't really know the ins and outs of link building. A lot of people don't really understand the links they need to build. I think they just kind of hear DR and hear guest posts and stuff like this. But what would be your secret sauce, if you like, that you after lots of trials and tests?
I mean, I would always say, like, people will probably associate me with black hat and stuff like that. I wouldn't say that's the best route to go down all the time. I think going for a mixed bag of link building techniques is what I would do. So I would try and do it as clean as I possibly could to begin with. Whether that's getting, Harrow outreach or getting some PR, getting citations, then I would get some guest posts. But to those guest posts, I would then start powering those up, including the citations and even the Harrow outreach. I would be using link building automation like SEO Autopilot or something to power those guest posts up. Now, there's no risk at all to my money website by doing that. Those guest posts are the ones that are at risk. So I can blast the living daylights out of that website and power up that particular domain name and that URL to power up my website. So something along those lines. But on top of that, I would use the odd PBN. I would use the odd age domain or expired domain name to take advantage of the backlink profile that those had. And, all of those things mixed together work very well for me. I'm not adverse to, I don't really see myself as black hat. I have spoken about PBNs and various other bits, and people go, oh, that's all he must do is PBNs. Of course it's not. I've got long-term business investments that I need to look after. I can't afford to just ram PBNs at them or whatever. So of course I've done a lot of PR and done a lot of other stuff, and that is what I would always advise anyone, is to try and use that strategy, but also then utilize a tiered link building strategy. It's just common sense to do that. And again, I know a lot of agency owners will go, oh, that sounds dodgy. But the reality is, when you're doing affiliate marketing or whatever, it's my risk and it's my money that's on the line. So I'm going to push it harder than I would push, Joe Blogs' plumbers or whatever. So the link building kind of looks like that. I don't want to give everything away, but that's a general consensus of what most people, in my opinion, are doing in this industry. They'll be doing certain percentages. People like you, for example, because you've got Harrow outreach and a team doing that, you're probably going to lean more on that particular side of things. So, and that's fair enough. A link's a link at the end of the day. As long as it's relevant and powerful and it's getting traffic, it passes value. So that's the way I look at it. But what about you with link building?
I think the one thing that people need to get out of their head is the whole white hat, black hat thing. To be honest, I don't really like that whole sentiment, just because I think if you use common sense, really, in Google's eyes, there's no such thing as white hat. There's things that are going to be more risky to your site. Unless we're talking about genuinely hacking someone's website, which is of course not okay. I don't mean like that. But in terms of link building, when people are talking about PBNs and stuff like this, I think it's a case of it's whatever you're comfortable doing on your site as a site owner. And I think also, obviously we don't do anything that would be considered kind of black hat or grey hat or whatever with clients. But to be honest, even agencies that do, it's not in anybody's best interest to get your site blocked by Google. It's not. At the end of the day, if you're paying my wages because I'm selling you a service, then the last thing I want is to have your site taken off Google. So I think you've got to kind of have that in mind when you're doing it. But to be honest, I like to do a lot of foundational link building that lots of people kind of poo-poo a little bit, and they'll say like, oh, that doesn't do anything. And like even having people building out, like citations, Web 2.0s, people say like, oh, Web 2.0s do nothing. Well, if they do nothing, then they're doing you no harm either, or so if you look at it that way. Social signals, all of this kind of stuff. And I think that's really important as well, that a lot of people don't do, is building up a persona on the site, especially, as AAT is evolving with Google. It's only going to evolve further, and I think sites where they don't have any kind of person behind them, and there's no social media and stuff like this, I think you're kind of letting yourself down a little bit. So we'd like to build out a persona, build out a really big about page, and build out kind of normal social media accounts, because I like to think of an affiliate site like any other business site, and I'm going to do what I would do naturally if this was my business site. So I'm going to build Facebook pages, I'm going to build a LinkedIn page, whatever, and be kind of promoting those, and just natural things that you would do as a business owner. So if I make a persona for a site and this is the founder or whatever, then I'm going to, like I say, even things like Web 2.0 profiles and stuff like this, that someone would think, oh, I'm going to put my info on there, that's going to go back to the website. Just like that natural thought process, rather than thinking of it as an affiliate site. And I know we've certainly found that, that in conjunction with doing things like Horo, and I mean, we have a few other outside of Horo that other people don't have with journalists that we do as well. But these kind of things, I think, in conjunction with those basic, like what you would do as a normal business owner. So that's certainly the route I would normally go with a new site anyway, definitely.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that makes sense. We do have about a minute and a half left. So one last question from you, Jenny. Give us your final one.
Oh, hey, I tell you, I'm trying to think of a good one now. We were talking about age domains, so I think we'll go back to that one. And we're saying about age domains and drop domains. What's your preference? Do you think there's a difference, and why? It's a good one. If someone's looking to start with something that's got a little bit of age on it, what would be your advice there, and why?
I 100% believe that aged over expired domains work a lot better. Why? Again, it's my belief. I'm not Google, so I can't answer this 100%. But when a domain name drops, I believe that, I'm not sure it all gets reset or whatever, but I'm not sure it's as powerful as it once was, and certainly does not have the same power and impact as an age domain. So if I'm getting an age domain, for the layman out there, I can get that from an auction, buy it off a guy or whatever. It's non-dropped. It is 18 years old. It's not reset. It's not been there for 18 years, then expired, and then the date's reset, and it looks as if it's brand new in 2021. And for me, that reset thing definitely cuts down. It just doesn't pass as much power as it once used to. I used to love expired domains, and I think Google have cottoned on to that strategy, and there is less power and all that kind of stuff passed through that, in my opinion. So that's why I would always go out my way to go to an auction or go to the likes of ODYS. They basically have people that go out and look for age domain names, brandable ones that have a decent backlink profile, that are non-spammed and so on. So there's so many different things you need to look for as well when you're looking for these. But yeah, aged all day long for all of those reasons. And Amon says as well, the whole hat thing is a bit of a nonsense made up by SEOs who had nothing better to do than point fingers instead of do better. 100% Amon. And Amon is a guy, I learned a lot from Amon. If anyone is not aware, I'm sure you are, because Amon's very well known in the industry, but Amon, Bill, used to do their shows years ago, and probably, I'm not even sure if you still do that, Amon, but these guys have done SEO for a long, long time, and guys that I used to watch a lot of out there. Don't know if you've ever seen any of their shows or whatever, but yeah, Bill Slowaski and Amon Jones are very, very well established, and learned a lot from these guys. So it's great to see Amon in here, also still adding value to the community and all that kind of stuff. So if you ever do, check out Amon and Bill's stuff from back in the day, and certainly a great place to cut your teeth learning SEO things. But before we go, Jenny, thank you very much for coming on. If anyone's interested in what you've got to say or anything that you spoke about, where is the best place for these people to find you?
My agency is clevertouchmarketing.com, which is where I don't know what's
You put
happening.
yourself in mute there.
It's the something to do with this microphone keeps just because we're live. That's what it is. We're also going to be launching the Affiliate Marketing Experts at the end of this week, which is going to be all our ready-made sites that we've been building up and taking care of for a little while, and all of this kind of stuff, and doing some courses on affiliate marketing, things like that. So yeah, you can catch me there or on SEMrush next month.
Yep, but check out clevertouchmarketing.com and you will see Jenny back with me on affiliate marketing next month. And for Amon Johns, Bill is still going with Bill and Amon's Bogus Hangout on YouTube. So do check out Bill and Amon's Bogus Hangout. Amon was also the first guy I've ever seen doing proper green screen stuff. It looked class back in the days where Amon with the whole robotic thing. It just looked fun. I've never mastered green screen, to be honest.
No, neither.
Amon was playing around with green screen before people probably knew what green screens were. So
they keep asking me to do it when I'm giving out awards, and I'm just like bobbing all over the place with this awards background, and I have not mastered it whatsoever. It's not one of my skills.
Mark Lawrence is asking, how many Stellas does it take to get a backlink from Craig Campbell? I don't actually drink, Mark, so none. Maybe
and neither do I, so we wouldn't be very easily bribed.
I stopped drinking. So yeah, mate, you're going to have to do better than that. Give me some good patter. This guy actually stays 2 streets away from me. He's never actually just come out and asked for a link. You probably get more luck just asking for it or giving me content or something, and I'll sort you out, mate. But I'm going to make you dig a little bit deeper, though. Since you were prepared to buy me Stellas, I might need to make him work harder. But anyway, Jenny from clevertouchmarketing.com, thank you very much for coming on and spending time asking affiliate questions and giving your input. It has been a pleasure. And everyone, I will be back later on today with, I'm not sure what, I think people are wanting keyword research, so I'll go over that. And a few other bits and bobs today as well. Hopefully get another couple of videos or lives done. But thank you very much, everyone who joined, and great to see Amon in here and Paul and everyone else who has questions. So we'll catch you all later. Cheers. Bye-bye.